XDefiant Season 2 is here, bringing with it new content, but also a lot of new changes, some of which do feel overdue, so it's nice to have. But today we're running down what you can expect to see in today's update for Season 2's launch. Let me know your thoughts, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with more FPS content, more XDefiant content, other FPS titles, and Black Ops 6 upcoming next month, but I'd love to have you in the community. For now, let's get into what Season 2 changed with this update to XDefiant. So of course, first and foremost, you do have that new seasonal content. That is stuff we've talked about at a top level, but just as a little refresher here, you have a new battle pass with all kinds of different cosmetics, skins, operators, the new weapons included in this. If you guys want to pick this up, you can use code Espresso to support the channel a little further, but only if you want to. Do not ever feel obligated to. The option is just there, but this battle pass will be lasting you the next 90 days here or so. So you have a lot of time to breeze through this and a lot of rewards to end up earning through it. You have the new faction of the Highwaymen, again, coming straight out of Far Cry. You have the passive of Revved, which basically takes that sort of hotshot ability from the mode hotshot, giving you increased rate of fire and reload speeds with consecutive kills. Your medium rank is at 1 kill, high is at your second, and then the max abilities comes at a 4 kill streak or higher. So really liking the sound of that. You also end up having the actives of the scrap turret or the M79 grenade launcher. The scrap turret is a sentry gun that will have 360-degree coverage of the area in which it's placed, and then the M79 grenade launcher is exactly that, a grenade launcher. The ultimate is the saw launcher, which is that D13 sector from Black Ops 3 that I've likened it to, where you end up shooting saw blades, but it will ricochet off of whatever walls it ends up encountering for a short duration of time. So you can end up getting ricochet kills if you do end up missing a player initially on that first shot. Looking forward to jumping in and really grinding this one out, but then you also have the new weapons, the PP19, the L86 LSW, and the Spaz 12. The PP19, as we talked about, is an SMG that's more so suited for medium range as opposed to super close quarters, but it's high-powered, has decent control, and good ammo reserves, so it's definitely something you should try out. The L86 LSW is the LMG that's more so supposed to be a borderline like hybrid between a rifle and an LMG. The power of an LMG, but the mobility of a rifle. So again, really looking forward to getting my hands on with this one. And then the Spaz 12 is, well, the Spaz 12, a classic shotgun that's brought over into XDefiant. You have, with the launch, the map of Waterfront, while the maps of Signal and Air and Space are going to be coming in season. Then, to round out the sort of content coming with the season as a seasonal update, you have the mode of Bomb. But that's already stuff we knew. That's the stuff that was a top level that we detailed this past week already. What about genuine changes? Stuff that isn't as advertised, but can change the way you interact with the gameplay loop. Let's take a deep dive into those changes. Firstly, a new mastery camo was added that if you guys are interested in grinding this out, this actually might be the first camo that I'd say is a genuine grind within XDefiant. Like, it's nice that we had everything up until this point that, yeah, 400 levels for a weapon was a lot, but it is something this now tasks you with even more than just getting one singular weapon to a certain level. This one is going to be a long grind for a lot of people because it's unlocked at level 500, but only when completing multiple weapons per classification and getting those multiple weapons to level 400. Now, Ake's system designer on XDefiant detailed this a little further, stating that you need to get 4 ARs, 4 SMGs, 3 shotguns, 3 LMGs, 2 marksmans, 2 snipers, and 5 secondaries, all to level 400. Then you can progress those weapons to level 500 and get the camo for hitting level 500. So another added step to prolong that grind. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't get your other weapons to 500 to begin with without the other weapons being level 400. Like, it's not going to unlock that cap to 500 only when you get multiple weapons to 400. But in order to unlock the camo associated with level 500, you first need that prerequisite of multiple weapons per classification being 400. And then you can work towards getting that on whatever weapon you want. So definitely going to be interesting. The Pyroclastic is the camo name here at this, and it's going to be a grind for sure. Now, there was a lot of gameplay changes in terms of faction tuning, weapon tuning, attachment tuning, mode tuning, audio tuning, and stuff like that. So let's jump into some of those changes here at this. The faction tuning, honestly, there's not a whole ton that was like really flashy or like incredible changes made or anything like that, but stuff that's definitely worth noting. GS Commando saw a fix for deploying the ADS in tight areas, and players can cancel the ADS manually after they throw it if they would like to. This update also allows prox mines to be countered by the ADS now, whereas they were not beforehand, and then it fixed the bug with the shock wire. DeadSec, the spider bot, is no longer canceled by the Ultra, and the spider bot audio cues increase in volume on the footsteps, so you'll be able to hear those coming from a little further away now at this point. They also decrease the duration of the Ultra to 20 seconds, and then if you die when the enemy has that Ultra active, even when you respawn, if it's in that 20-second duration, you're still going to have that effect present on you, the opposing player. Phantoms, it removed a respawn invincibility exploit, and the mag barrier is now no longer impervious to the Aegis scattergun. And Libertad, the Biovita boost, has increased its range to match the visual display. There was some discrepancy beforehand where it wasn't quite 1-to-1. The Medico Supreme healing mist now no longer affects players landing on it from above as well. There are also a few bug fixes, but more so smaller stuff with that. Weapon tuning, the M44 can now no longer aim down sights before the reload animation finishes. The Magnum, it removed the half-second weapon sway delay when switching to ADS. The M870 corrected the timing issue so that the shell casings eject when the slide is racked rather than when the player fires, which is a cosmetic change only that doesn't affect anything gameplay related. The MDR removed the obstructions with the skeletonized skin, so that again, that's a cosmetic change that should just be now more in line with everything else. And then sniper hit flinch penalties were dropped from 0.7 seconds to 0.5 seconds on the M44, L115, and the TAC-50. Now, specific attachments of the muzzle booster, rapid fire barrel, and lightweight barrels all were adjusted, where the muzzle booster added a short to medium range penalty of 12.5%. It removed the horizontal and vertical recoil penalty of 10% and added an ADS speed penalty of 7.5%. So slightly changing how this is going to work in some of those cons. The rapid fire barrel added a short to medium range penalty of 25%. It removed that horizontal and vertical recoil penalty of 20% and then added the ADS speed penalty of 15%. So again, in line with that muzzle booster. And then the lightweight barrel kind of does the same thing, where it added a short to medium range penalty of 10% and removed the horizontal and vertical recoil penalty of 10%, just swapping where those two things went. The reflex and holographic optics now can display enemy outlines as intended. It fixed a slight aiming wobble caused by jumping while ADS, and this update reduced the shakiness and other visual distorting issues while using a scope and crouching or crouch spamming in crouch only areas. As for modes that were adjusted, Team Deathmatch had an overtime when matches ended in a tie, but that wasn't supposed to be a thing. It now doesn't have that, and it'll just end in a draw, which honestly, thinking about this, I actually kind of like that, where, yeah, it's probably a rare occurrence you're going to see a match end in a draw, but if that's the case, why not go for another 5 kills and see who gets the win definitively? Team Deathmatch now also has daily challenges associated with it. For Capture the Flag, CTF sessions now count towards earning the Grand Tour achievement, and then some general mode fixes. XP scores for accomplishing escort and zone control objectives have now been doubled. Cleanse points now are awarded for killing the last enemy in domination, occupy, or zone control. And then the medal challenges for completing arena modes were added in for linear modes, both named Complete Game. So these new medals will bump up Battle Pass momentum by granting a lump sum of XP upon a match completion. So definitely a nice little bonus here for just sticking with it in a match. Audio tuning, we saw a little bit here at this, where they stated they made significant changes to footstep and clothing sound effects to address community concerns. They said they balanced all enemy and ally footsteps to be the same audio levels for sprinting, running, and walking, while crouch walking is now silent. It also improved the distances at which players can hear these sounds and naturally how they fade in and out with the distance. They improved the sound effects quality in general, such as footsteps increasing and decreasing with movement speed and sounding muffled on another floor or room. So kind of now interacting with whatever floor surface that would be. And then finally, the player's own steps and clothing sounds have been reduced in volume, so you won't necessarily hear yourself as much as your friendlies and enemies. As for the miscellaneous things to round out this update video, players can now skip the intro videos, which is awesome, I think. That was something that was quite a first world problem, but it was definitely something that I'd like to save those 15 to 20 seconds if I can. It added a custom frame rate limit options for various features like gameplay, menu, and out of focus settings that fixed 120 Hz graphics mode so it persists after reloading the game. They tuned major and daily challenges, and they updated the preset loadouts to offer full sets of attachments for the primary and secondary weapons on offer, along with devices that complement each of those primary weapons in the preset. So just giving you more of an arsenal at your disposal for those preset classes if you are using them. So some good stuff. I'm happy with a lot of what this update brings. If I had the time to, I'd be grinding this out in the meantime, but with prepping for a weekend away with my wife, I don't think that I'll have any time in the next week or so to end up playing this. So we'll see what this time next week brings, if I have some free time that I can jump in and experience it and grind it all out. But in the future, I'd wager that we see our second and third maps of the season and the subsequent updates alongside that, unfortunately timed right around the launch of Black Ops 6 and then the launch of Season 1. So it's quite possible that it entirely overshadows the future editions of this game in Season 2. Hopefully, for the sake of this game and the entire FPS scene as a whole, both can continue to grow and provide healthy competition to each other, but we'll see what's on deck. For now, that's where we're going to wrap it up, though. Just wanted to fill you guys in on everything that changed with this update and what you should be aware of. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this update? You're looking forward to jumping back into Season 2 of XDefiant, liking that we finally have some new content here as opposed to the last 2 months that was just a map here and there and not really anything else in between. Let me know your thoughts, but if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. Of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so don't miss a single thing regarding all things FPS content. That includes XDefiant, Black Ops 6, and even more. So I'd love to have you in the community, but for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.